Keep praying, keep forgiving, stay on the high road. God sees what's happening. He knows how to restore. He knows how to change people's hearts. His hands are still on them. They may need to go around the wheel a few more times. The timing is not up to us, it's up to God. Will you wait for His plan to unfold? Will you not get discouraged? When is it going to happen? Why isn't it improving? It just needs some time. When you understand this principle, it takes the pressure off. You won't live frustrated, wondering how it's going to work out. You'll say, God, everything's not perfect in my life. I'm waiting for things to change, but I'm going to enjoy today knowing that you're on the throne. And at the right time, you're going to make all things beautiful in my life.
Walking into the blessings and the purpose of God is a journey. It's not an instantaneous thing.
You may not like it, but you can't bypass the process. Sometimes God proves His love to us by what He's not letting us have.
Because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. My prayer has always been, Lord, don't give me more than I can handle. Teach me patience with the process. We live in this automated age where we want to be zapped into things, not understanding how essential the journey is.
Sometimes it's not happening because we're not prepared for what God has prepared.
I prayed to abort the process. I prayed that I wouldn't have to endure some things that He wanted me to endure. I was working on the destination, but He was working on me.
When He knows you're ready, what you give birth to is going to be much bigger than you've imagined. I wonder if you're upset about something now that later on you're going to realize it had to happen to get you to your destiny.
See, the route you on right now is the route you got to take.
The disappointments, the betrayals, they had to happen. They're a part of His plan.
See, you get mad when haters come your way. You get mad because you get a setback. That's just dirt. You got to have dirt on you to grow into what God got for you.
That is to say that sometimes we don't accept inconvenience to accomplish divine purpose.
But God won't allow anything to happen that will keep you from your purpose. If you only knew what God was up to, you wouldn't live upset. If you only knew that your latter days will be better than your former days, you may be off course. You can't outrun the mercy of God. Don't sit around condemned. If you only knew what God was going to do, the assignment He has for you didn't get canceled because you took a detour. If you only knew how He's fighting battles for you, then you would trust Him. You wouldn't fight all the things you don't like. You may have some pieces in your life that don't make sense. You have to wait for the other pieces to come together. This is not the time to be discouraged. This is the time to stir your faith up.
It's always going to cost you something. You shout about the harvest, but you ignore the seed. You shout about being exalted, but you resist being humble. God won't take you up because you already acting up. But if you really want to go up, humble yourself. Now, wait a minute. There are some people in this room that don't look like where they came from. There are some people who came against all odds. You shouldn't even be where you are right now. Oh, let me remind you how to praise the Lord. Don't you get here and start acting all funny like you got here by yourself. You've been through enough stuff that you ought to be in a mental institution, and yet God's got you out here functioning, and you worried about a car. You ought to be shouting about your mind. You ought to be shouting about your leg. You ought to be shouting right where you are. God has a blessing for you. I may not have it right now, but I know He's got it for me. I know He's going to bless it. You got a covenant with God. God bless you in bad soil. You were born on the wrong side of the tracks. The odds were against you from the beginning. And look at God. Look what the Lord has done. Let's take 30 seconds and just praise Him for progress.
If you're going to continue to go further, you have to remember it is the Lord your God that got you to where you are, and it is God that's going to keep you going.
I'm telling you that it was Him. It was not my education. It was cause of prayer.
Somebody throw your hands up and say, protect my seed. Protect my resources. Protect my finances. Regardless to what Fox is saying, regardless to what MSNBC is saying, my prayer is protect my seed. Lead me beside the still waters. Put me in the place that you want me to be, because God has a place for you where the blessings will flow.
If you knew all the things God has been orchestrating behind the scenes to get you where you are, you would be amazed. You could come up with good reasons why you can't be happy, why your business can't succeed. In your own strength, that may be true, but you're not on your own. You have to trust Him when it doesn't make sense. If you only knew where those disappointments are leading you, it's not that God has forgotten about you, it's that He's positioning you for greater influence. Let go of the discouragement and get ready for something that you haven't seen. The disappointments, the people that tried to stop you, it's all working for your good.
If it doesn't happen quickly, we get angry with a God who has the end plan from the beginning. Your update is past date to God. I'm telling you, half of the things you're worried about are already set. They're already there.
And all of these things that are happening to me right now, they're just temporary inconveniences.
You weren't created to live worried. This is the reason many people have health issues. Your mind needs a break. You weren't designed to carry that heavy load. But when you come back to a place of peace and say, God, I trust you. We can't add 1 inch to our life by worrying. Do yourself a favor. Take the worry off the throne and put God back up on the throne to thank God that He's still in control. What if I don't get well? What if I can't make those payments? Don't fall into that trap. You have to turn your worry into worship. I wonder how many things you're worried about that are never going to come to pass. How much time are you wasting worrying? Don't try to figure out the next 5 years, play out all the what ifs. We may not know what the future holds, but we do know who holds the future. And sure, we should plan, we should use common sense, but at some point, you have to turn it over to God. Really, it's important every morning. You should start the day off in peace. Breathe in God's goodness. Thank Him for His blessings in your life. I not only trust your ways, but I trust your timing.
God got a great life for you. All you got to do is ask Him for it and wait on it and be willing to work. Faith without works is dead. That's all you got to do.
If the truth be told, we were being totally honest. Most of us don't like waiting. Particularly if we're waiting for something to change or something to get better. Waiting can be a very frustrating experience. But the worst kind of waiting of all is waiting on God. When God forces you to wait for things to get better in your life, for things to improve, to change, to reverse, and nothing is happening. And yet, over and over again in the Bible, we're told to wait on the Lord.
The most difficult place for you to be in life is in God's waiting room. In God's waiting room. Some of you are in God's waiting room right now. What is God's waiting room? When you're in a hurry for something to happen and God isn't. That's God's waiting room. Some of you are in a hurry to graduate. Some of you are in a hurry to get married. Some of you are in a hurry to start a family. Some of you are in a hurry to launch a new business, to close a big deal. Some of you are in a hurry for a big goal, a big dream, a big accomplishment. Some of you are in a hurry for all kinds of different things, and God isn't.
We all have things that we're waiting for, problem to turn around. When it's taking longer than we thought, it's easy to get discouraged, to become impatient. But sometimes it's not happening because we're not prepared for what God has prepared. You need more time to grow, to develop, to gain experience. Patience is developed in the wait room. Before you see what God promised, God will send you to the wait room. You may not like it. Other people are in the game, making progress. You're stuck waiting. You may not see anything changing, but something is happening. Patience is working. You're growing, developing, getting you prepared so you can sustain what God has coming. Don't get discouraged because it's not happening as fast as you would like. When He knows you're ready, what you give birth to is going to be much bigger than you've imagined. Maybe you've been praying, being your best, but you don't see anything changing. Have a new perspective. You're in the wait room. You're not falling behind. God has you right where He wants you. Now do your part and wait with a good attitude. Thank you that what you promised is on the way. If you will wait with the right attitude, after patience has done its work, you're going to see promises come to pass.
Don't allow a moment of agony to make you draw a conclusion about life prematurely. Because if you just keep on walking with God, God has a way of making everything all right. But He warns us that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Now, the term steps implies process. Means it's going to take a while. Because a blessing given too soon is not a blessing at all. I can give my son the car keys now, but had I given it to him when he was 5, it would not have been a blessing at all. He can't handle it. So would I be a good father if I gave him a good thing too soon? Sometimes my goodness is proven by my ability to say not yet.
You see, while you're working on your project, your goal, your dream, your vision, God's working on you. And God's much more interested in you than in what you're trying to accomplish. Because you're not taking your accomplishments to heaven, but you are taking your character. And sometimes God says, yeah, I intend to give you what I've promised you. I intend to answer that prayer. I intend to fulfill the vision, but you're not ready yet. I want you to grow. And when you're ready, then it's going to happen.
And I'll admit, I don't like to wait. I like to make progress. I like to get things done. But I've learned some things take time. So much is developed in the process. When you're doing the right thing, but nothing's changing. Remember, something is happening. You're growing. You may not like it, but you can't bypass the process. David said, God, my times are in your hands. I not only trust your ways, but I trust your timing. When I'm ready, when I can handle it, you will take me to new levels of my destiny. Something may have your name on it. You know God has put it in your heart. But if it happens too soon, the blessing will become a burden. Sometimes God proves His love to us by what He's not letting us have. We just have to spend more time in the wait room, growing, learning to trust God, learning to keep a good attitude when things aren't going our way. The sooner we pass these tests, the sooner God will release what belongs to us. And one reason we get in a hurry is we think we're falling behind. Our friend is getting married. Our coworker got promoted. The neighbors moved into a new house. We got to make things happen. We're being left out. Well, here's the key. What has your name on it will not go to anyone else.
We don't like to trust somebody else's timing. Why? Because we lose control. And so we'd rather than trust God, because trusting God means, my goodness, I actually have to trust God. We'd rather go, listen, I like the plan and purpose you have for my life, but can we do it my way? And here's the funny thing. Now that I'm a parent, I recognize in my children that they don't like it to wait on my timing. They don't like to wait. They don't like to chill and be patient. But the thing is, if they would just trust my timing, they would recognize it's for their good. It's for them to be blessed and prosperous. And so you can live life frustrated, anxious, stressed out, angry, or you can rest and go, God, I have to trust in your timing.
Another thing you have to learn in life is that a delay is not a denial. There's a big difference between no and not yet. Now, immature children don't know the difference. You tell a kid, not yet, they start crying and having a hissy fit because they think it means no. They don't understand a delay is not a denial.
You can never lose faith.
Hello everyone, today I'm gonna talk about trust the God, timing. The profound topic of trust is God is timing. Life often throw out your cravings, but you though fit a practice. We can learn to surrender to the divine time of God plan. So grab a cap to of tea, get crazy to explore this together. Trust in God. Timing is teaches us to valuable lesson in practice and perseverance. It's doing the waiting proud that we grow and develop a state of character instead of running a racing hard. Take this time to reflect, pray and strengthen your relationship with God. One of the hardest parts of trusting in God, timing, is letting go of control. We like to plan every detail of our life, but sometimes we need to surrender and trust that God knows what the best of us. When we release our grow on the outline, we make space of miracle to unfold. Waiting can be challenging, but it also an opportunity to find a peace in midst of uncritically. Instead of worrying about the future, focus on the present moment and trust the God walking behind the scenes. Learn your faith. Surround yourself with possibility and remember that your every daily has a purpose. and they have it. Trusting is God timing is not always easy, but it's powerful reminder that you are never alone on this journey.